Let's meditate. I had a restless night. Not too long, but in the middle of, or at the beginning, I don't remember, I had perhaps 20 minutes of various ideas popping up. It triggered by someone not keeping the promise and found that he's not trustworthy. Not a big deal. The event is not huge in terms of the impact, but the underlining point disturbed me. So I thought this and that, and more idea popped up, and I had enough of that. So I said, that's enough. So as I lay down, as I was on the bed, I just breathe in, breathe out. What I typically do when I go to sleep is I have laid down on my back and my two hands straight down on the side, facing downward, palm facing downward. And pay attention to the sensation on my palm and finger. That's a typical, usual pattern every day, every night. Actually, I may do the similar while I'm awake every now and then. It's like, okay, I have enough of this and that, let's get back to the root. Connecting to the root. Meaning enough of the brain, mind work. Let it resolve on its own by not thinking. So last night I did that. Maybe it took a minute or two longer, but I went to sleep. I don't remember the exact sequence, but I had a dream, or you may call it the lucid dream, halfway in between the dream and the wake. don't remember exactly the nature of the dream, but I was somewhere and was lost. Why I am here, what is to do, something like that. I don't remember afterward, but I could feel jittery, uneasy feeling of where am I, what am I doing, or something like that. Nothing I could do, so I went back to sleep. It was interesting. It may be unnecessary to talk about my dream or evening or in the bed what happened, but it was a bit rare. So I kept that feeling. Before that evening, I was reflecting on one of the videos, and that was about the sunset. And I remembered years ago, that was 15 years ago, I had the video of the sunset and me playing didgeridoo in New Zealand when I was living in the car, traveling, surfing, diving, and so forth. So that idea popped up. And in the night, another idea popped up. That was the image of me living under the bridge. Close to the ground, meeting people. That's right, I met this guy, Hawaiian. He was 65 years old, homeless. And he and I shared like 40 minutes talk. And we walked and we sat on the beach and talked more. Listened to his life story. I say one more story. Sorry to talk about my story like this. But this is a story of me meeting a friend in Detroit. Gary is his name. He had an airplane and a boat, and I used to stay at his place every time I go to Detroit to do some work. He even took me for breakfast, just flying the airplane, a small plane, to go somewhere. We had a fun time. While I was working. And the thought at the time, because I was maybe 40s, age 40s, exploring and expanding my practice in various directions and meeting various people. That was quite interesting. So, being here in Hawaii now, perhaps I was synthesizing all those various information as if to make sense of it. Each of those stories and the silent time followed, digest, and still come up with some dream. One more story as I talk. This is yesterday evening. I don't watch much of the Facebook, very rarely, but I checked the story, and there was a story of Neil deGrasse Tyson, story of a tree communicating each other. When the tree has some problems, say bugs or something not pleasant, they spread some kind of a chemical so that other trees can be aware of what's coming. It's like not a telepathy, but there's a chemical process. Maybe telepathy has something to do with it. And I like that story. Beyond what we see is underlying current of nature's way. We may not recognize it, but intuition and the dream and ideas may be generated something similar to those tree-to-tree conversation, but within our mind. When our mind is calm, we may see that, or we may find some story popping up out of nowhere as a byproduct of how things being processed. I often say when we meditate, calm and quiet mind, no self, connected to the root. We may see those phenomena and we just accept it. It's the way of nature manifesting. Let it be. We are changing all the time to make sense of it, of all the events. Perhaps that's the nature's way. And may come out as dream, uneasy feeling, or through that maybe some resolution. Wisdom, compassion, awakening, become conscious of unconscious. No good, bad, right, wrong. It's just the way. I feel transparent. You don't need to carry a weight. Let it be processed. By the mysterious, if I want to use that word, process of how nature manifests, as much as it keeps us being alive. Or to be dead. Still be at our eternal home, always. In front of me is trees. I feel like the trees are listening, or I'm listening. May all beings be happy.